Welcome to Love Bytes, the show where we debug romance. Now, I am not a doctor. I am not a psychiatrist.
I am not a patient.
I don't have a degree in sociology or psychology, but what I do have is wealth of experience and a sincere desire to help you. Because sometimes love can get messy. And sometimes, if you're not careful, love bites. Hey everybody, welcome to our episode of Love Bites today. With us we have Conrad Jansen. Conrad, how are you doing?
I am doing excellent. How are you today, Neil?
I'm quite good. I'm quite good. Why don't you introduce yourself to us for our viewers? Who are you, Conrad?
Sure. Hello, my name is Conrad. I am 23 years old. I work in esports, specifically for the D2L and the SE2L. I'm a producer. I focus mainly on streaming and broadcasting, and that's sort of my expertise.
Excellent. And tell me, what qualifies you to dispense this sort of information? Do you have any degrees? Are you like a love expert? Are you a licensed psychiatrist? Do you have a medical degree?
I have no degrees, but I have a wealth of experience that I'm hoping to give to the audience today.
Okay. Excellent. So, let's
apparently
jump
I'm too loud.
straight into our first question. How about that?
Sounds good.
Okay. Here it goes from unknown. This is an anonymous person. I went out recently to a get together with 2 to 4 girls that attended, wanted to hang out with me. I got their numbers, but the problem is the one I'm really interested in told me that she is in a relationship. I asked if she was comfortable just spending time with me or if she'd prefer group settings, and she said it's cool just to hang out, but nothing datey. We've been out 3 times now, both weekends after we met, and plans for this weekend as well. Twice for coffee and once for drinks with a friend of hers. She invited 2 of the 3 times. The times that we got coffee, we talked for hours. Last time we went to the library afterwards. She keeps suggesting we do other things. For example, last week she suggested we go to the park this weekend. At first, I wasn't convinced she was in a relationship. I thought it might just be a I want to get to know you better first kind of thing. There's no boyfriend on her Facebook profile, so I'm not sure. Additionally, we talked about past relationships, and she mentioned she'd been in one for almost all of undergrad, but that's all over now, in quotes. And she never said anything about a current relationship. Finally, a couple nights ago, we were texting, and she stopped responding for a while and said goodnight and went to bed. Eventually, after I'd gone to bed, she replied goodnight, delayed. And when I asked her about it, the next morning she told me it was because she had been Skyping with her boyfriend and that she has a don't get distracted by the phone while talking to someone policy. Good policy, in my opinion. So that's where I'm at. I don't really know how to proceed. I went into the whole thing thinking I'd make a friend with a small chance that there was potential for a more romantic relationship. As time went on, she seemed more and more interested, and I was hopeful. Now it looks like that small chance is essentially non-existent, which is pretty discouraging. Conrad, give this man some advice. You're muted. No one can hear what you're saying.
Yes, here I try. Sorry, my apologies. One thing I've learned from my own personal experiences is when a guy specifically, maybe even myself in certain situations, has been very nice to a girl and they show a lot of, sort of reciprocating, friendly, attitudes, that's just them being friendly. And as a dumb young male, such as myself, has perceived that to be, feelings of affection. And you can't necessarily assume just because a girl's being friendly with you or likes to talk with you, that it ends up being exactly the way you may have perceived it.
What polite Conrad is trying to say is, she's got a boyfriend, dude. Abandon all hope. Sinking ship. Run the fuck away. You can be friends with her, but if you like her in any way, shape, or form, like romantically, there's no hope. Don't be that guy. No one likes that guy.
I 100% agree. Butting into situations where you're trying to be involved in a different way than that they may have perceived, yes. Just don't. Just
Just
don't,
don't do
man.
it. Unless you really, really want to be the guy who's like, oh, you're Skyping with your boyfriend. Why isn't he around? Oh, you never talk about him. Oh, he's long distance. Oh, that sucks. Well, why don't you come? Oh, you had a fight. Come over to my place, and then try and break them up that way, which is a terrible thing to do, and probably not that great.
Depending on your morals.
Yeah,
Yes,
you can
I in
always.
my morals that is a pretty terrible
It's
thing to
pretty
do.
terrible. You can always do extra, like a little bit of extra reconnaissance. Ask her about him. Be like, oh, you guys are long distance. How long's that been going on for? And then you can like if you want, you can stick around and maybe see if there, if it's a faltering relationship, you might want to be friends for a while and see if there's something that falls out. But then if she breaks up with him, you don't want to be the rebound guy. So I would say that there's a little bit of wiggle room. But if you are going like with the intent of I'm going to split them up or I'm going to like, stalk her and wait for him to go, not stalk like creepy stalking, but like hunting and animal stalking.
Just
Um,
keeping an eye on, like in the
yeah, just
situation, might not should be.
yeah, there's a little bit of wiggle room there, but just stay, keep your distance, be respectful. You wouldn't want some guy poaching your female, right? So don't poach someone else's. Also, these are not animals to be poached. They're thinking people of their own kind, and I'm pretty sure she would be upset by that.
And I mean, if you are really like actually enjoying her company, I highly recommend becoming friends with her. Like I said, like Neil said, though, don't be looking for something completely different. Maybe she has a friend who may or may not be similar to her that you might be interested in.
Yeah, absolutely. I yeah. All right, let's move on to the next one. I think that one was pretty simple. Um, my name is Daniel, and I'm a 24-year-old male. If it matters, I've never had a girlfriend. A few weeks ago, a new girl appeared in my mostly male social circle due to a house sharing agreement with one of my friends. She's an all around great person, and I love spending time with her, and I'm also attracted to her romantically. Unfortunately, she has started sleeping with another member of our group, and they seem like they may be starting to get into something somewhat serious. The guy isn't someone I'm very close with, but he's nice and I get along with him fine. I've been trying to ignore my feelings, but I can't avoid seeing this girl, and I wouldn't want to. I can't also avoid seeing the two of them together reasonably often. Sometimes I can tolerate it, but sometimes it can be devastating. What should I do?
In this sort of situation, I
Hmm.
I would personally, you just have to move on. I know I've gotten attracted to like many girls in my life, and I just become obsessive about them. And there there may or may not have been a situation where it might have worked out, but it didn't in the end. And I think moving on was the best way for me to just sort of wipe all that feelings and then just get something else. So maybe look for somebody else that you might be interested in, or maybe a new hobby. Obviously, the living situation is not optimal, but that's the number one advice I can give is you have to move on.
Yeah,
And if you would like to be friends with her, the same situation, just become friends with her, but do not be looking to create drama specifically in your own house. Um, in your own house, that becomes a whole nother realm.
yeah. If this guy, now here's my concern is that the guy she's with is in your mostly male social circle. And while the two of you may not be friends, this sort of thing, if it becomes public that you're into her, or if perhaps you don't listen to our, wealth of knowledge here, Conrad, and decide to make a move otherwise, is that you could damage your social circle significantly with this. So this is what I recommend. Go up to this guy, the guy that the girl you like is kind of sleeping with. Be like, hey, I hear you're sleeping with so and so and I just wanted to let you know that I have a huge fucking crush on her, but I plan to do nothing about it because, like, as a group, we come first. I'm gonna do my best to like ignore this whole thing, but I just wanted to let you know up front because I had a very similar situation where one of my closest friend actually, had a huge crush on my girlfriend, and I didn't know, and then one day he told me, and I was like, "What the fuck, dude? Are you serious?" And we had like a good half hour of like, "I can't believe you have a crush on my girlfriend while you're dating her friend." Like, what the fuck, sort of moment. Um, but we chatted, and then it was cool. And even though I knew he kind of had a crush on her, and he was like, "Well, hey, I would never do anything. Like, this is your thing. I just wanted to let you know how I felt." And it was cool. It was absolutely fine, and actually, we got a little bit closer from that. So if you come up to the guy and be like, "Hey, this is the situation. I want to let you make you aware of it, and here's my plans about it." I think he would appreciate that, and I think that would be good for your social circle, and that would also help you, not help you with the I'm not interested in the girl thing, because once you kind of vent that out and say that sort of thing publicly, it kind of puts a little bit makes it easier not to chase her. So,
Yeah, I know. I mean, I totally agree. It's like, especially you may not be somebody particularly close with, but he may or may not be your friend, and you're in like this living conditions. So talking it out, especially with another male, I find is usually the best way. Is specific, yeah, exactly what Neil said. Actually, now I
mhm,
think about it.
yeah, I think that's a nice solid approach here. Um, whew, are you ready for the fun one, Conrad?
Which one's the fun one?
The first one, the one
Let's
that
do it.
let's
Let's
do it.
do it.
Okay, guys, I've been sitting on this question for a while, sitting on this question for a while, um, because I didn't wasn't sure whether I wanted to bring this sort of thing into the show or not, but I think we finally got the right guest to answer it, and I think we finally got the right situation. You're
Oh
a guy.
boy,
It's easier to talk about this with you than it would be if it was a female.
this
Uh,
is a good point.
um, so here we go. You see butt sex in porn all the time, and I was curious how common it is in the real world for straight couples. There you guys go. There you go. That's the question. Now,
Would you like
what,
me to answer?
why don't you give? You said you had a story you wanted to tell.
That story is different from this, but there is.
Okay.
I've had a story about butt sex, so I'm a pretty open book. So, uh, I was with a long term girlfriend, for about 3 years, quite a while ago now, and this topic did come up, and we both look. It does come up amongst couples, at least to my knowledge, straight couples. Sorry. Um, yes, attempts were made. I think if I maybe did a little more research and maybe looked into how to do it without hurting individuals, that would be the best way. I would say if you are looking to um, proceed in this path, do some research and make sure everything is properly lubricated. That's
Uh,
about it. That's all I have to say.
that is a very good set of advice from our good friend Conrad here. Do your research before you try things, kids. Make sure you know what you're getting yourself into. You can cause a lot of damage here. Just think of all the things that can get damaged in this process. This is not. I mean, we've all read cringe stories about this sort of thing. Where it's like, oh, I tried to do the sex act with my girlfriend and it failed, and then she died, sort of thing. Like, just make sure you're careful. But in response to the directly to the question, how common is this in the real world for straight couples? That's a hard thing to say. I poked around online doing some research, and I actually mean research, not just watching a lot of porn and then doing averages there. That real research. And the best I could come up with was from a source that was trying to like debug some myths, and they didn't have a straight couple answer, but they said 40% of women have tried or attempted um, anal sex. Now, attempted might mean similar issues where you go for it and it fails, like you can't make it work, or you try and succeed, or you're a repeat user. Um, so, in answer to how frequent is butt sex, 40% of women have tried it, according to what I was able to come up with. I don't know how accurate that is, but it's the best number we can go for. All right, debug, debunk. Don't worry about it. It's all good.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is definitely explored. I mean, like, it's kind of one of those taboo things in culture. And I think, everybody's sort of interested by that a little bit. So, just be careful. That's all I have to say. If you're interested, be careful.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to one more before we get to our break. I don't think I actually was able to paste this one to you. I've been dating a woman for 15 months, and I know that she's my soulmate. We're completely in love with each other, and has been great for the relationship so far. The issue is that she is bisexual and wants the freedom to experiment with women, but I don't know if I'm comfortable letting her go and do that without me. Do you have any advice/ideas for things I could propose to make this work? I'm interested in bringing another girl into the bedroom for her, but not if it means she's moving away from me. Thanks in advice. If this is how I am supposed to be going about doing things. Um, well,
Would you like to go first, Neil, or
I got a few words to say on this.
sure? I do as well, actually.
I think you are in a position that a great many men would kill to be in, but I don't think you should let that influence your decision making here. I think if you were to read chat right now, it would be like, "Oh my God, you're the best. I want to be you so much." Let's ignore these people, okay? Because you said this woman's your soulmate, right? And that it can be scary letting someone that you have that sort of connection with go off and do the most intimate acts possible with another person. Like that's terrifying. I think that what you're saying about bringing another girl into the bedroom with you is great. Like not like letting her go off and do something. Like make it a group activity. So here is what I would suggest. First, you communicate these feelings to your significant other, being like, "Hey, I want to do this for you, but I'm not sure how to go about it." And one of the things that you could do is you could say, "Hey, let's do some sort of trial thing. Can you find a willing participant?" And the very first time, instead of making it about you hanging out with this person, we can agree as a group that we'll focus on this thing. Like perhaps you could say, all right, what if we for the first time it's the two of you mostly focusing on me, and that way like I can get used to the fact that another person's in here and see how this goes, and I'll be comfortable, and then you're not going to be jealous because clearly there's this other thing going on here and it's fine. And then after you guys do that, you can be like, okay, well now let's do this, and it's the two of us focusing on you, and then you can move on to the next step, and it's like, okay, now we're going to do this and just see where it goes, because by that time you'll have a little bit of experience already. So the idea is to make this option available for your significant other while still not excluding yourself, making yourself comfortable. So I would take baby steps and like go through like these focused experiments. Like, hey, let's bring in a person, and here's our goal, and here's how we're gonna go about it, and let the other person know like, hey, we're new to this. Do you mind if like you're here and the two of you can do stuff, but we're gonna try and focus over here, so you might get a little less attention, because I think the attention thing in a threesome is really where things get confusing and complicated and messy. So I think proper communication and setting expectations ahead of time will really help you a lot. And then as you get used to it, you can kind of flow out into other areas.
Yeah, I have actually a few friends that are in this situation, and I can understand. Here's the number one thing you have to do is lay ground rules. Really talk it out with your significant other and discuss exactly what is okay and what isn't okay. Um, if you don't, then rules get bended, things get broken. Like without being, we have to be extremely specific. Talk about every situation possible. Now that being said, I think it works great for some relationships. I think a lot of women they really like to explore, and that's what they want to do. And you have to. I don't know how old you are, but you have to at least, if you really truly believe she's your soulmate, at least appreciate those facts and really talk to her about it, and know it and understand where she's coming from with this. Um, that being said, you also must be very careful because bringing somebody else in, or her maybe going out with others you might not be comfortable with that, and you have to talk to her about that as well. If you're open to the idea, I highly recommend just sitting down, talking to her, and laying out those rules. And then I think Neil's advice is fantastic. Baby steps that direction. Um, maybe the problem is though that the woman she wants may not want to be with another man. So then you have to, sort of, and then that situation comes in. But what I highly recommend you do is actually just meet with, if you are thinking about going forward with this, meet with her and maybe the woman she's interested in advance, and just talk it out like friends. You know, actually to learn to know who know the type of woman she's into, understand that situation, go from there.
I think that's a good point. Communication and expectations and patience.
Yes,
Wow, we
100%
really
agree.
did really well on that one. I'm very pleased with us.
Let's do.
Yeah, yeah. Um, all right, here's the one we that just came in. Hey, I'm a senior in high school, and I asked a girl over Facebook for her number that I didn't really know her or anything, but when I was texting her, things seemed awkward and forced. I haven't spoken to her since that night, and that was a few days ago. I'm not sure what to do. Okay, you're missing some words in your sentences. So if you're in high school, you should probably take a little bit more time on your SATs and for your English tests. If English is not your native language, forgive me for insulting you and making fun of you. But if English is your native language, take a little bit more time next time. It's cool. Don't worry about it. We appreciate it. You got a number from a, no, you asked for a number. You got the number. You're texting her. It seems awkward, and you haven't spoken to her in a while, and you're not sure what to do. Conrad, take it away.
You know, I've actually never been in this situation. I've always the people I end up dating ended up being people I knew really well beforehand. But that being said, I think in this situation, you really want to. I don't know what sort of stuff you discussed with her, but that's the biggest thing is you have to really I think get to know somebody when you first message somebody. And talking about it's high school. Obviously, I don't know if she's in the same grade or the same school or maybe a little more details would be awesome. But yeah, you want to talk it out. Get some basic information. Safe questions is all I can say. Safe questions. Don't be like, tell me about your religion or tell me about all your previous boyfriends. Just sort of feel the waters because you might be infatuated or not necessarily infatuated, but interested in her romantically. But if that's if she's not, or maybe as you start to discover more about her, you find you're not. The situation you want to be able to either go into a more friends related way or just break it off completely.
Yeah, I've been out of high school for a little while, let's call it. So I'm not sure what you high school kids are doing these days, how your dating rituals are going. I don't know what the current meta is in that. I would say, maybe text less, talk in person more, because then you can get body language reads. You can tell if she is like, she can tell if she's mafia. You can tell if she's, a Zerg player. You can kind of like, get a little bit more information about whether or not she's something you want to hang out with. Um, Texting is easy and it's chill and it's low stress and it kind of makes things feel a little bit, oh, okay, I just texted her, whatever. But it also does not give you a lot of information and it can, not work so well. So I would go for I would, hey, want to hang out at lunch, but not like that because, that no one would ever say it like that. But, I would do some more in-person stuff, not just through texting and Facebook. Those are safe routes, but safe routes are for scared, weak people. And you, sir, are a strong man. You can talk to her in person.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say I didn't have a phone or Facebook in high school, so I only had the choice of talking to
Hmm.
girls in person, which, by the way, is the scariest thing possible.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's
It,
terrifying.
it, and that's like actually funny enough. Another thing I guess I could say is that um, embarrassment is the number one enemy of logic.
Oh,
Logically, you could go talk to a girl and you say, "Hey, I'd like to hang out with you more." But your mind and body, or your mind thinks, "Oh my god, oh 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 my god, and then you freak out and everything goes wrong. So just really, try and just focus on your goal. And if it goes well, it goes well. If it doesn't, life will go on, and you'll grow up, and it'll be an awesome experience.
Leroy Jenkins it is what he's telling you.
Do it up.
Just go for it, kids. Don't worry about it. Just try. Talk to her in
Yes.
person. Also, if you haven't spoken to her and things felt forced, it's probably forced because she doesn't know why you're texting her, and talking to her in person would fix the forced things. Um,
Get those body reads.
yeah, yeah. You're not going to get any more information out of texts. There's not enough context. Done. All right, we're just about halfway through episode, so we're going to take a short break, and then we're going to come back with a part two. If any of you people in chat have questions you'd like to send for Conrad and I to answer, you can send us an email at koibu@regalgoblins.com, or you can just PM me on Twitch, and we will do our best to answer them. All right, we'll see you guys in about 3 minutes. Bye-bye.